Cooking for a crowd is my happy place. I'm 35, a home cook who loves experimenting with whatever's in the fridge. Last weekend, I had a few folks over. My sister, her husband Frank, and a couple of friends for a casual dinner at my place. With a group to feed, I went for a chicken pot pie, something I've made a million times. To me, a pot pie is a cozy, anything-goes dish. A flaky crust stuffed with whatever you've got, held together by a rich gravy. It's comfort food, not a rigid recipe. This time, I had some fresh roasted hatch chilies from a farmer's market, a few ears of corn, leftover chicken, onions, and a bunch of kale. So I tossed those in with a creamy gravy, seasoned it up, and baked it in my go-to savory crust, which has a little cheddar and black pepper for extra flavor. I was excited. It smelled incredible, spicy and hearty, perfect for a fall evening. When I invited everyone, I just said, "I'm making a chicken pot pie," figuring that covered it. No one mentioned allergies or food issues, so I assumed we were good. When I served it, the table was all smiles, except for Frank, my brother-in-law. The second he cut into his slice, he froze, staring at the green flecks of kale and the golden corn like they'd personally offended him. "What the fuck is this?" he said, loud enough to make everyone pause. "How is this a pot pie?" I was caught off guard but kept it light, explaining it was my take on a pot pie. Chicken, veggies, gravy, crust, just with hatch chilies and kale instead of the usual peas and carrots. He wasn't having it. He insisted a chicken pot pie should only have chicken, gravy, peas, carrots, and maybe potatoes, like some sacred law. He said anything else wasn't a pot pie. I tried to laugh it off, saying I don't see food as black and white, and I just used what I had. My family's always cooked that way. Recipes are more like suggestions, shaped by what's fresh or leftover. I apologized if it wasn't what he expected, but pointed out no one had mentioned dietary restrictions. Frank just scowled, pushing the food around his plate like a grumpy kid. The vibe got awkward. My sister tried to change the subject, but Frank kept muttering about false advertising. He ended up leaving early, barely touching his food, which stung since I'd spent hours on it. Afterward, my sister texted me saying Frank felt misled because I called it a chicken pot pie when it wasn't traditional. She didn't think I was wrong, but suggested I could have described it better to avoid the meltdown. My friends, though, loved it. One even asked for the recipe. I'm starting to wonder if I messed up by not being specific. I mean, I didn't think pot pie was a loaded term. Growing up, my mom would throw shrimp, zucchini, even curry spices into hers, and we still called it pot pie. I figured most people saw it as a flexible dish, not some rigid standard you'd find in a freezer aisle. But Frank's reaction has me second-guessing. Maybe I should have said spicy chicken pot pie with chilies and kale, or checked if anyone wanted the classic version. I hate that it ruined the night for him, but I also feel like he overreacted, turning a meal into a manifesto. Cooking's about creativity, not rules, right? Or did I mess up by not meeting his expectations? Am I the asshole for telling everyone I was serving a chicken pot pie when it wasn't a plain and basic one? Thanks for listening, and if you want to hear more interesting stories, just click the link below.